welcome into Montgomery and Company. It's Vegas week. I was about to say it's All-Star week, but it's really Vegas week because Summer League is going on right now. That's where I am. This is Moco on the go. I'm taking you guys everywhere with me. So right now I'm sitting at a hotel in Vegas because of Summer League. And everybody knows the number one draft pick, Victor Wembanyama, has been shut down for the rest of Summer League after having a 27-point game, 12 rebound, 3 block game in his second game of the season. And so there was a lot of speculation about Victor after the first game, where people were not, I would say, impressed with his first showing. You know, he went to the press conference and he was talking about how I don't know what I was doing out there. I don't really know what was going on out there. Sports is unforgiving. Like, you got to understand that sports is unforgiving. So I'm not surprised at all that the Spurs shut down their number one draft pick, their franchise player, because you always want your athletes to feel like they're in the best position that they can be in. You want them to always feel their best when they're playing. You want them to always feel like they understand what's going on. So when you hear Victor say, I didn't know what I was doing out there, you got to assume that the team is like, oh, yeah, it's a no. And especially after he had a good game where he had 27, 12, and 3, you're like, all right, you showed him enough. Let's shut it down. So that's what's going on in Summer League. His games were selling out. There were people standing in line to get good seats because it's first come, first serve, starting at like 3 a.m, trying to get good seats to watch him play. So all of that pandemonium has now died down because they said, yeah, we're shutting him down after this second game. So we'll stay tuned, though, on Victor, because Kenny the Jet Smith said that on year 4 that Victor Wembanyama will be MVP. So, I mean, that's a big statement, but I don't think anybody would be surprised. He has the physical attributes. Once he starts to learn the game here, learn the system with the Spurs, he has Pop. He has Pop as a coach. So in Pop we trust. We know that he's going to put him in a system that helps him be successful. So it's going to be interesting to see when the NBA season starts, because there was a lot of people speculating about his play, and as they should, because I was taught in sports, you're only as good as your last game. That's what everybody would always tell me. Like, yeah. When did you play well? Oh, you had a good season last year? Yeah, nobody cares. Or, you're only as good as your last game. And so with Victor, I'm sure he already knows that. His agent, they was reaching out to his agent, getting quotes from his agent. His agent was like, I never worry about Victor mentally. And that's great to hear, because with the internet and how people are, especially when it comes to betting and just even diehard sports fans, it's not for the weak. Sports is not for the weak. I'm going to just say that. You have to be able to have tough skin and take a lot. And on another note, on the NBA side of things, Commissioner Adam Silver had an ESPN show to announce their in-season tournament that they're about to start this season. And anybody that's familiar with the WNBA, y'all know exactly what this is. We call it the Commissioner's Cup, so I'm going to call it the Adam Silver Cup. And all the concepts are the same. All the same concepts apply. They broke up their league into different groups. Ours was broken up into basically the East and the West, but they broke their league up into different groups. And certain nights are going to be Adam Silver Cup games. And then on December 7th and December 9th, I told you it's Vegas week. They're back to Vegas, and that's where the semifinals and the championship will happen. So Vegas is really turning into a entertainment and sports town. It used to be an entertainment town where, you come get food, entertainment, concerts, shows, all of that. But now when you come to Vegas, you gonna get a little side of sports. You're gonna get a little appetizer of sports. And that's actually what Adam Silver said when he was announcing it. He was like, why do we choose Vegas to have the semis and the finals for the Adam Silver Cup? Because Vegas knows how to throw an event. They do. Like, we're seeing it right now. And speaking of Vegas week, the WNBA All-Star game is this weekend in Vegas. I'm hyped because we have 3 All-Stars that will be participating: Allisha Gray, Cheyenne Parker, and Ryan Howard. So you already know I'm going to be turned up. Like I told you guys at the top of this, right now, I'm here in Vegas. I'm going to take a quick trip to LA for the ESPYs, and then I'm back like I never left to support the squad. It's so exciting. Everything, I can't emphasize enough how excited I am for everything happening with the Atlanta Dream. I tweeted out the other day that support is always a verb for me. And when I say I support the Atlanta Dream, wholeheartedly. I know nobody would even doubt that, but whenever things like this happen where you have 3 players that are rewarded for their work and their efforts, it's like the whole franchise wins. And so I'm excited. Like, our team is a tight-knit group. I love our squad. And so I'm going to be in the building. You might not see me but I'm going to be in the building supporting our squad. And so it's just exciting times for the Dream, even just how we're playing. You know, as I'm filming this right now, it's a Tuesday and we've won 5 games straight. 5 games straight. I told Gail, like, what's good? The squad is turning up. And it's exciting, too, because if y'all don't know, Gail Bean is the person who does the Nike basketball commercials, sipping her tea. She's an Atlanta Dream fan. So I'm letting her know what's going on with her squad. And anybody else, I always tell people, like, listen, if you looking for a squad that you want to support, look into the Atlanta Dream. And so on that note, since it's the All-Star episode, it's only right that we have WNBA MVP candidate Allisha Gray pull up on Montgomery Co. Check it out.
What up, AG? All right, first of all, welcome to the A. I've already told you welcome to the A before, but I'm excited. It's year 7, and I've been talking to everybody because there's year 1s, year 2s, year 7. What do you wish you could have told yourself coming into training camp year 1?
I wish I would have told myself year 1.
Year 1, if you knew what you was thinking year 1, not knowing what's gonna happen, you're now a pro, not knowing nothing. You're sitting here with 7 years of experience now. What would you tell young little Allisha?
Just coming mentally prepared. I mean, you can train to be physically strong, but it's definitely a mental game
for sure. For sure. And so a lot of the younger players have talked about how physical, like there's players that are talking about the college jump to pros is very different. And I've asked some of the rookies, like, what's the biggest difference to y'all? And they said the physicality. Did you feel that when you were younger, or was it different? Was it more mental game for you?
Oh, it was the exact same thing, physicality.
For real? So what is it for the people? Because I want the college athletes to know, like, almost how to prepare, because it's like every athlete I've talked to that's came in here, they were like, physicality, no question. So how would you have prepared differently knowing how physical it's about to be?
I don't know. I'll probably get on the weights more. I mean, but it's like you coming in 21, 22, and you playing against like grown women. Like
facts.
The next, like it's like a big age gap, like 38, 39 years old. Like, and I'm like 22 coming in. So definitely like the physicality for sure.
No, okay. So, and when you're going into a season, like, what's this off season been like? What was your focus? Like, because every year, you're year 7. So every year we say as an athlete, we trying to add something to our game or to our bag or even just mental studying the game. But what was like your focus this off season?
My focus was mainly getting more like creative with my moves. Beefing in my bag a little bit.
Okay, you trying to get something in your bag. Put some tricks in your bag. Like, so what? Like, how do you do that? How do you get more creative?
I mean, I have a trainer. I mean, he trained me, John Holman.
Shouts to John. I'm saying we gonna
shout pro. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just tell him like what I want to do, and we train. I know me coming to Atlanta, I have more opportunities to score and
go get a bucket. Okay.
Have the ball in my hand a little more. So so I just knew this all season was like take advantage of more ISO one-on-one situations.
And what do you like? Like, what positions? Because, like, I'm a point guard, so I've been talking to every player. Like, Ari, I talked to her point guard to point guard. But if I'm your PG and I'm like, where do you like to get your shots at? What do you like? Like, what would you answer to me?
I like dribble handoffs. I like coming off down screens, and I love the curl.
You love the curl? Okay, girl, you better get the curl. Which side, though? Left side, right side?
I always coming to my left.
Coming to your left. Yeah. So the reason I'm asking this because I was asking Ari and them, like, things that point guards be having to think of. So now that you told me that, as your point guard, I would make sure that every time I'm like, get over to the other side. Are you one of the players that be forgetting the plays?
It depends at what stage of the game.
Because you make our lives more difficult. I know you. Look at them. They be knowing it.
That's me. I be looking at porn like, what I do
And I'm like, get over there and you be out there. Because you know we got the ball. Somebody's guarding us. And we're trying to tell everybody. Y'all do realize that.
Yeah, I couldn't be a point guard. I can only be a shooting guard.
So you guys too much thinking.
Yeah, too much thinking.
Where do you get the confidence on the court though? Like, let's say you're not having a good game. How you snapping back? Like we saw Jason Tatum go from where people were like, what's Jason Tatum doing, to where he scored 51, game 7 record. How do you get that bounce back?
I just know it happens. Like, it's the game of basketball. I mean, you're going to have like slumps, but it's how you put in the work to work out of it. Because I remember last season, or the season before, I think it was like Olympic year.
It was Olympic year.
When I came back, I had like a little shooting slump. But I mean, I just got in the gym, put up a lot of shots, and eventually it clicked back. And then from then on, it's just the work you put in.
Can somebody get you out of a shooting slump? Because this is what, like, because people were talking about Klay Thompson was in a shooting slump at a certain point. Multiple people, and I was like, well, only Klay Thompson can fix that. But like, how do you like, can somebody get you out of a shooting slump?
I don't think so. I mean, unless they look at like the mechanics of how I'm releasing the ball or something. But I mean, I'm the one shooting the ball, so I don't know how, unless they program me or something.
The reason I'm asking that, you're right, because the reason I'm asking that is like, what other sports, like profession other than sports, like we have to be our own everything. Like you got to figure out how to get yourself out the slump. You got to figure out how to be more creative. You got to get your shot off in the game. And so like when you're doing all that and handling all of that, like how do you, like when you're going to the game, what are you locked in on? Like, I'm going to do this today.
I know for me, I let my defense turn to my offense. So I know that play defense hard, then it carries to my offense. I never look for my offense to dictate my defense. My defense dictates my offense. Because you can have an off night, but it's other parts of the game that you can go to and still contribute to the team. Like you can do stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. So it's not always about offense.
No, I'm glad. I'm going to ask you this. I think I already asked you before, but I'm asking you this setting now. You said, speaking of offense, and Don Staley said you don't be getting no buckets when you go there or something like that. They said that you be getting they said that you said defense. They said they be giving you buckets, honey. I want to just, y'all got a, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got a nice squad and everything, but when you go back, I want to get it officially on tape. Do you be giving the buckets or getting bucketed?
Look, ask her what nickname I had when I was at South Carolina.
Okay.
Bucket getter.
Oh, that's what they called you?
Yeah, bucket getter.
Who gave you that nickname? Because I found out people was giving themselves nicknames, so I had to...
I gave myself the nickname for sure. But it's because I was giving buckets.
You gave yourself the bucket getter nickname, but then you went out there and got a bucket.
Yep, and then it stuck to her. She started calling me BG, and when I go back, she like BG.
And that means, boom, well, get us some buckets. That's all I want. Get us some buckets, man, this summer. Appreciate you joining us.
All right, so that was Allisha Gray. As you guys can see, these interviews took place during Media Day. We still have more interviews coming because I sat down with every single player that came to our station. So I'm excited, man. Like, this is an MVP candidate that we talk about. Put some respect on her name. And now we got JT, John Thomas, AKA JT Made It, coming up. And JT is a designer that has worked with probably your favorite athlete. Check it out. First of all, what up, JT? You guys, this is John Thomas here. He's a fashion designer, and we're going to get into it because he mostly focuses on women, which is pretty lit. So, JT, welcome to the show.
Renee, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Let's go. All right. So, first of all, you're an athlete. You are a former college baseball player. So, first, talk a little bit about that because it's interesting. I always like when I see athlete turned, I always say like athlete turned what? So you're athlete turned fashion designer.
I am, yeah. I played at USC, so I was pretty good. Like a lot of Division I student athletes, I had aspirations of going pro when I got to college. Pretty quickly, though, I realized that SC specifically recruits a lot of kids from Orange County. Which is a very right-wing area. So to make a long story short, I spent 4 years in a locker room with almost a team entirely of people who voted for Donald Trump in 2016. Wow. So that kind of more or less ruined my relationship with the sport because I just associated every day going to the field with having to deal with that. And I was a captain for 3 years, so I couldn't just put my headphones in and ignore everybody. It was my.
So how'd you deal with that though? Because isn't it kind of like usually you don't even talk politics, right? Like, but this was a time where people were pretty much started outwardly talking about their politics. You're a captain trying to just in the idea of stick to sports, but you're a captain and you're trying to be a captain of the baseball team. Like what? Like how do you navigate that?
It was tricky, and I made a decision after freshman year that I wasn't going to live with my teammates anymore. I started living with
Wow.
football guys, and I just kind of had to accept that, you know, it's okay that like a lot of the guys in the team aren't gonna like me for what I say. I'm gonna try my best to educate them, but you can only do so much, and eventually it just really starts to wear on you. And it was more, it wasn't even talking politics. It was just comments that were made. Baseball, obviously a male-dominated sport. There's a lot of misogyny, a lot of homophobia, a lot of racism. Like those comments are just thrown around the locker room and laughed at by people. And
It's
that
crazy
was
because people will be like in 2016, yes, in
yeah.
2016, and I'm sure in 2023 as well.
Yeah, no, it's I promise it's still the same there. So it was hard, but I just kind of made a decision like I'm not really necessarily here to be liked by everybody. I have a platform. USC Athletics gives me a platform, and I'm going to use that platform to push things that are more important than being liked by my teammates.
Dang, and so fashion was on your mind. I'm curious, like how do you go about starting your first piece? Like, you know what I mean? It's like you
Right.
can like fashion, but how
Yeah.
do you go to where now, like this is a custom piece I'm wearing right now. JT made it right here on. It's like, how do you go from, all right, I'm gonna focus on other things than baseball as well as baseball, and then to creating like customized pieces?
Right. So freshmen. So in college baseball, they often, especially when you're younger, send you to play summer ball. So to give you an idea of my schedule, the end of my freshman year, we played our last game of the season at Washington, probably like May 30th. On June 2nd, I was on a flight to Alaska for the entire summer to play 60 more games in like 70 days.
What?
Um,
Is
and
this like a
so,
moment where people don't know about WNBA players playing overseas? Is this like I have no idea what you're talking about,
right.
JT? So you go 3 days after your season ends, you hop on a plane and you head to Alaska to start another
Yeah,
season?
there's these summer leagues that are just
Wow.
started specifically for collegiate players in the summer. And when you're younger
Wow.
in college, you don't get much of a say where they send you. And so I went to Alaska. It rained every single day for 2 months. It never
What?
got it never got dark at all. You might have like an hour of dusk at like 2 a.m., but it was never dark.
What?
And it was kind of similar to how the minor leagues are with the long bus rides right into games. And it just wasn't for me. Like I just realized the things about baseball. I grew up on Kobe Bryant. I idolized Kobe. So the things about baseball that I loved were the stuff that I really took from him, which were the preparation and the work. But the actual sport itself, like I just didn't have that love for it. And if you don't love something and you're in Alaska for 2 months playing a game every
Woo.
day, it hits you hard. Uh,
Listen, I played in Russia for 3 years, so I know what you're talking about when you
you
talk
know,
about the long rides. We was taking planes, trains, and automobiles to get places. You gotta, to your point, you gotta really, really love something to sacrifice basically living a normal lifestyle because
yeah.
that is not, those aren't normal lifestyles.
Right. So the next summer after my sophomore year, this is where the fashion, like I had already been into clothes. I just like dressing up. I was the kid that would wear a suit to class in high school. And, people would think it was
What?
weird, but
Like
like,
for no reason. It ain't even like
I just wanted to wear a
career
suit.
day.
Any chance I get to wear a suit, like I'm going to put it on.
You better put that thing on, JT.
Yes. So, sophomore summer, they tried to send me back to Alaska. And I said no, which was a whole thing. But I just said, if you
Oh
want me to
wow.
play, because I missed some of sophomore season with the injury, so I didn't get a full season of at bats. If you want me to play, like it has to be in LA because I'm going to stay in LA. I'm going to explore, um, production and fashion and just learn about it. And
Wow.
so luckily they placed me on a team in Pasadena, which I live downtown, so it's not far at all. Or at the time I was living in SC, which is basically downtown. and I would my schedule that summer. I like pushing myself. So I had a strength coach who was at SC who would get to the facility super early in the morning. So we would work out
Like what time? Give me a time frame.
So we would work out like 4 a.m.
Oh no.
every
Oh
morning.
no, honey.
And so I would do workouts from like 4 to 6. I'd have summer school from 8 to 9:30. One class a day, nothing crazy.
Yep.
And then I would take long naps from like 11 to 2:30 p.m. And then I would go to the field and play. But that summer, I met a fashion designer who's a former NBA player. His brother is a rookie, or just finished his rookie season on the Rockets.
Who's that?
Josh Christopher is his brother. Patrick Christopher. His brand is called Sloan and Bennett. It's beautiful stuff. He became a mentor to me that summer, and so I got to shadow him whenever I could in between summer school and workouts and games. And that summer is when I really fell in love with the process of designing and production and the hands-on stuff like pattern making and actually sewing my own stuff. So that's really when it started.
That's crazy. When you're talking about all that, have you seen the show Next in Fashion? It's like on Netflix.
I've seen the trailer for it. I haven't actually watched it.
Okay, so like it's crazy because like even if you're not into fashion, like I'm into fashion a little bit because I just like to see how things are created. I don't even care if it's a cooking show. I like to see how things are made, like the show Beef or whatever it's called right now. Oh, the Bear. But
you like the process.
Yes, I like to see the processes. And so you basically fell in love with the process, which is, I can see how when I relate everything back to sports, it's like that's what athletes fall in love with in general. You fall in love with the process of getting better every single day. And so you kind of were like, that's why athletes can transfer their like focus and passion so easily because it's like you that summer fell in love with the process.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So now fast forward to last year, it's All-Star where this is All-Star week when this is coming out and it's All-Star last year. What were you doing with the WNBA last year for WNBA All-Star, JT?
We had a really fun and probably my favorite project so far, but Ari Chambers, who's been a huge supporter of mine since I started, put me in contact with the right people.
Shouts to Ari.
Ari's the best, yes. She put me in contact with the right people at the WNBA. Another shout out to Ashley Simmons, who always has my back at the league, but worked with Ashley to kind of come up with something we could do just for the players because what drives me is doing what I can to grow their platform. And if they get some custom pieces that nobody else gets, like however much it helps, it helps.
Facts.
So we came up with the idea like we're going to do 5 jackets for the 2 captains, the MVP, the skills competition winner, and the 3-point champ. And it was logistically a little bit tough, but we figured it out. I went out there with the captains ones finished, obviously, because I didn't know who would get the other 3, and one kind of stock size that would more or less fit anybody.
Oh, snap. So you were like fixing it live because you didn't know who was going to win.
I brought all my sewing materials to Chicago, yes.
What?
But the project was really well received. Hopefully we'll do it again this year. I'm still waiting for approval, but we're working on it. And it was just like surreal for me because, Asia Wilson she's one of my favorite athletes. And to get to do like a whole shoot with her and to talk to her, get her feedback on the piece, it was surreal. So that weekend was a big one for me. I also got to do the press conference with Sabrina, which was crazy.
Crazy. Like what? Who's like? This is crazy, JT.
I need a video of the interview because I do not remember a single thing. Like
you blacked out? You was just in the zone?
It was kind of like it came together at the last second. Like I was out there with Ashley. We didn't know when we were going to give the jacket to Sabrina. She wrapped up the press conference and was waiting for another question, but there weren't any. Basically, that got scooted up on stage. Like, come on, go right now. Walked up there and Sabrina was like, what's happening? And then the jacket and all the reporters like, sit down, give him a mic. And they started asking me questions.
Oh, snap. That was like your moment. Like if
It
this was
was.
like the movies, like in the movies, people would not believe that happened, but that was your moment. That's dope. And if in case y'all want to see that moment, I think it was Business Insider, right? They did a whole spread on you, and the leading part is about that moment. It's crazy. So also it's award season. We know that the BET Awards just passed recently. We know the ESPYs. And I was hollering at you because I'm like, JT, when are you gonna hook it up? What's next? Like in a sense of, we know that you can do Letterman jackets. In case you guys are wondering, that's what the jackets were. They were Letterman jackets that he did for WNBA All-Star. He does all kinds of different jackets. He does customized pieces like the one I have on. So I was basically applying pressure to JT that I'm ready for him to make a customized fit for my wife Serena and I, so that when we pull up to award show or any red carpets, we want to pull up in a custom piece. So I'm just gonna ask you live right here, like, are you gonna shift to that, or is that like, no, you want to stay in courtside wear or street wear? Like, what's up?
There's two paths that I want to do kind of simultaneously. One of them is shifting to the higher end pieces. Like I think probably my favorite, probably my strongest passion within designing is dressmaking. I love dressmaking. I think it's just so unique how you drape the fabric and really start from like actual scratch. So that really intrigues me. And then obviously anything else that goes along with carpet looks or gala, that kind of idea. So yeah, I do want to expand, and it's something that I can do. I just need, what's good about the jackets is I don't need any measurements. I really don't even need any sizing at this point because I've done so many that it's kind of an eyeball thing.
Wow.
And then the second path is there's a trend in the NBA of teams bringing in fashion designers as creative directors. See where I'm going with it? If a WNBA team were to do that and bring in a fashion designer as their creative director, you get to step up on the entire rest of the league in terms of what you're turning out in merchandise. So that's the other route that I want to pursue.
Heard you, JT. Okay, you better speak what you want into the atmosphere. That's dope, though. So basically, the answer is yes, you will be creating us a matching set at some point, because
Yes.
you are going to get there. I'm applying pressure, y'all, because I'm telling you, like, I literally said this to Serena before I came on to interview you. I was like, this is going to be dope to get an interview with JT right now, because I just really feel like you're going to blow up at a certain point, and then we're going to have this interview of, I'm going to be like, look at young JT. That's what we're going to be thinking when we look back on this, because I just feel like you have a crazy trajectory that's happening. So when you see like basically the world of fashion colliding with the sports world, like, what are your thoughts on, yeah, you wanted to be a like a creative designer for a team, but like, what are your thoughts on the state of fashion in sports?
They've become, like you said, they've become so intertwined, and it's the women's sports, the WNBA specifically, has really kind of made a point in terms of putting it on socials and that kind of thing. And these women can dress. Like, if like you look at Diamond DeShields, who I love Diamond, she's a friend of mine. Diamond, she put out a tweet last week during Paris Fashion Week, which it was a picture of Tiana Taylor, Rick Owens, and a few other just fashion icons. And Diamond quoted it and said, "I should be in this picture." And any other athlete,
Oh, snap!
any other athlete would have said that. You would have been like, "All right, whatever." But it's true. Like, Diamond belongs in that picture.
Talk your talk, Diamond. Basically, it's like talk your talk.
Yeah, when you look at her fits, the last few years, like it's really, she really knows how to dress. And as far as I know, she doesn't have a stylist. She doesn't have any of that. Like, she just knows how to dress.
She just put that on. She just
put
that stuff on. Them outfits on.
Right. It's just like, I look forward to every night seeing what, I think she's only at the home games because she's injured right now, but seeing what Dallas is going to post the outfit pictures. I look forward to Diamond's picture like every single game. And
I love hearing this from, what do fashion designers look forward to? Of course, it's the tunnel walk fits.
Right.
And what were you going to say?
that kind of attention, like it's just what's so unique about women's sports. Like there's so many reasons you could be a fan of a player. You know, if you were to look at the NBA, you were to look at like obviously Diamond's not an off the bench player, she's an impact player, but say like a second guy off the bench, if you were to be a fan of that player, like you'd have to be a diehard basketball fan to be a fan of, like, I'm not going to put anybody on blast, but like a bench player. But if you were to take a WNBA player who came off the bench, or, you know, came off the bench, started kind of a mix of both. I know Izzy Harrison has done that in the past. There's so many reasons you could be a fan of Izzy Harrison. You could be a fan of her
love
game.
the way you think, JT. That's dope.
Her game, her outfits. She did like a skincare tutorial on YouTube. You could have watched that and been like, this girl is dope. Like there's
Shouts
so
to
many...
Monique Billings on the Atlanta Dream, because she does those skincare like routines and everything as well. And I love that, like what you're saying, to the point where it's almost like you're saying women's players, they share a lot of themselves, so there's so much of them to be able to attach to. And I do think that the WNBA is one of the most accessible pro athlete leagues, in a sense of, like, if you really tweet a WNBA player, or if you try to talk to one after a game or something, more likely than not, the WNBA player is going to respond in a good manner of some sort. Absolutely. And probably, you know, like answer whatever question you're going to asking or whatever it is. So I like how you think about that. And since it's all-star, I want to get your all-stars, your starting five for the WNBA for fashion. So this is fashion all-stars from JT, the fashion designer. And I'm going to keep talking a little bit to give you a little bit of time to think, because this is kind of like I did Bomani Jones. So if you guys listen to that episode with Bomani, I asked him straight up on the spot. I'm letting you guys know this is what I'm doing to JT right now. I did not ask him before this question. It just hit me because I'm like, you know what? This is all-star. Let's talk about some fashion all-stars. So in no particular order, who would you say is your starting five of the WNBA?
Okay. Well, we're going to start with Diamond, because Diamond, when you talk about fashion in sports, not even just WNBA, like you can't not mention Diamond. It's really high level. I can't stress that enough.
Love it.
I've been really impressed with Stewie this year. Stewie's been dressing this year, so I'm going to put Stewie in there. Brianna Stewie's really been dressing this year. Izzy's going to be in there too.
Okay. Isabel Harrison,
yeah. Just the way that she went from her trajectory from now being a Jordan athlete, and she takes a lot of risks. She experiments with, and it always works. She experiments with looks, and that's kind of what you like to see, is people experimenting. They're not sticking to one silhouette, a select couple colors. Izzy really the whole spectrum. Like she hits it. Once we get past Izzy, I'm going to put Dejanay in there.
Okay. Shouts to Dejanay Carrington.
Yep, one of the younger players that's been obviously she finished college right before I think NIL became a thing, but Dejanay kind of, I kind of think of her in that world of college players who really, from playing basketball to a full face of makeup every time she plays, to the lashes, to the nails, really just would have done big numbers on, NIL stuff.
No, definitely. And she's out there doing numbers in the game too. So she's doing work right now this season.
Someone needs to start talking about Dejanay as the most improved player, because
okay.
I
like this, JT. All right, so we're at 4 right now. So who's rounding out your starting 5?
My 5th and final member, I'm gonna go Shatori in DC.
Oh wow, I like that.
Yeah, I've been following her fits. I've been really impressed for the last 2 years. I think she's gonna round out my 5.
Wow, I love that. All right, so that's your 5. I'm going to throw in a couple honorable mentions that I've noticed this year. Satu Sabali, I'm like, she's been doing her thug thizzle. She's coming like because she's so tall and has like a model build, when she puts on her outfit, she looks like a model. And then shouts to Arike Agumbawale. I feel like she has this swag about how she puts her stuff on. Those are a couple that pop in my mind off the top. But I love hearing why you gravitate towards certain people. So basically, when we talk about fashion, I think I was watching the show Next, and I think it was Gigi Hadid that basically said, fashion is about taking risks. Somebody either needs to love your outfit or hate it. Is that like how do you feel about that statement? Because it's like, I want everybody to love it, but basically they're like, nah, you got to take some risks, and either they love it or hate it.
I think it's spot on. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who he works in the music industry with a lot of rappers, and he was asking me what I thought of somebody's look, and I was like, it looks good, but it looks no different than any other rapper. Like this, and there's a couple rappers that I've been really impressed with in terms of expanding, like Tyler the Creator. I think Quavo's done a good job recently of expanding like the silhouettes he experiments with, but I think it's all about experimenting. And sometimes when you experiment, it's not, I mean, it might work for you, but it's not going to work for everybody. But that's not, if I put on a fit and I love it and other people hate it, that's not really my problem.
So I like that you say that. So if you basically design something for somebody, right? You design Serena and I's outfit, then we pull up to the Met Gala and everybody is like, boo, worst dress list is Renee and Serena. They came and they stunk up the red carpet. You're like, nah, I'm cool, man. Like, our designs are dope. Are you really that bulletproof? Because for me, I might be stretched, JT.
Well, you and Serena pull off whatever you put on, so that exact situation would never happen.
Thank you.
But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, it's all subjective. So if I design something that I believe in and you and Serena wear it and you believe in it, like, what else is there to it, really? It's
that's
about
so lit.
It's about how it makes you feel, how it makes you guys feel, and that's kind of with the custom pieces, especially with the jacket, which just provides just basically a big canvas to tell someone's story, basically. That's one thing I really like about the jackets. And again, shout out to you for being the first jacket order, because you were the one that pushed me to figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. We gonna be put like that's what me and you are gonna do, JT. Like, we're gonna just keep pushing and nudging, and you're gonna land somewhere where you want to be. I can feel that.
We're gonna keep growing. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, it's all about who it's for, and that's, again, the jacket was a great piece because when I'm doing the custom looks, like, I don't want my logo to be front and center. Like, I want it to be about the player or the media member or the client, whoever it's for. I want them to feel connected to it. So, like, for example, I did a piece for Diamond Miller at the draft, and like I put her family members' names on the inside on the lining, like close to her heart, and that was something that she really, really loved. But it's all about just creating something, especially when it's the custom stuff. Obviously, when you start scaling, people are going to have to like it for it to sell. So that's a bit of a different story, but we'll get there.
Okay, but that's a whole different business model,
Right.
but
Right.
yes,
But
when you have to do it for the masses.
The custom stuff, it's just about how can I create something that Renee and Serena or Dejanay or Tasha Cloud or Ari, whoever it's for, feels connected to when they put it on.
Got you. So I want to ask you so many questions, so I'm going to bounce around a little bit, but are there any more like fashion no-nos? You know how it used to be like, don't wear white after Labor Day, or you don't wear black and brown together, or blue and black don't mix, or this can't be oversized. Is there like, has all those, like, is everything out the window now and fashion just is?
I would say yes. They're obviously, again, subjective. The whole white after Labor Day, like, that never made sense to me. So I never. But in terms of colors going together, like, yeah, there's a couple colors that I look at. I'm like, okay, I don't really like black and navy next to each other.
Me
So there are
neither.
times where you'll see it and it'll be like, I don't really think that that's a great look. Now there are other ways to put black and navy together on a garment where they're not right next to each other where it could still work. But for the most part, I would say all that's out the window, especially in a post. I guess I don't know if we're technically post COVID or not, but we'll call it a post
Yeah, we can
COVID
speak it
world.
into existence.
You look at and I read everything about him because I love him, but Jerry Lorenzo with Fear of God, the way that he attacks kind of home wear in terms of we're working, but we're still in the house. So
Yeah.
let me create an entire line of loungewear for the house, but it still makes you feel like, okay, I'm up, started my day, I'm doing stuff, I'm getting things done. Like there's just so many
Yeah, that's smart.
different avenues. Yeah, he's a genius. There's so many different avenues that you could attack.
All right, so having said that about Jerry and Fear of God, this is my last question. Is your top 5 of all-star designers that you would like to work with?
That I would like to work with.
Yeah, so you either doing a collab, JT meets Fear of God, or what would be like your dream collabs?
So number one, and this is a woman that's become a close friend of mine and a mentor, and I think the world of her. Her name is Brittany Hampton, a person that I would love to connect you with, actually. Brittany is a stylist, a designer, just an all-around creative that has taught me a lot. So Brittany would be number one on the list.
Okay, Brittany, yes. Link me and Brittany for sure.
Brittany Hampton. She was out at Paris Fashion Week last week. She looked amazing with all her looks. Very happy for her. She was formerly with Honor the Gift, Russell Westbrook's brand, for a few years, and I'm excited to see what's next for her. Number 2, I'm going to go with the other designer that helped mentor me in the beginnings, Patrick Christopher. His brand is Stone & Bennett. He's a high-end menswear designer.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's like
beautiful.
It gives very much so like sophisticated vibes.
Yes, it's beautiful. He calls himself the Black Ralph. He's a star. Number 3 would be Jerry Lorenzo, just because Jerry has. It's when you go from Fear of God to Essentials to the At Home collection, like the man sold out the Hollywood Bowl for a fashion show. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That would obviously be really cool. Number 4, and this is a guy that is his path in terms of doing it through sports and pop culture is Don C. Just Don.
Just Don, what up? That's my guy.
Yeah, so I got to meet him at NBA All-Star, which I was really excited about. We had a good conversation. Would love to work with him and just pick his brain.
Man.
Number 5.
Your last all-star fashion designer that you would like to collab with is
Tom Brown. I think Tom Brown revolutionized, that's a strong word, but I'll use it, revolutionized the suit look. When you go back to do you remember the playoff run where the Cavs and LeBron, they wore suits the entire playoffs? Pre-game?
Yeah, the all black, when they were all black everything.
It was all Tom Brown.
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was all Tom Brown. A friend of mine who I went to SU, he plays in the NFL now, he always wears Tom Brown. He just wore Tom Brown to the White House.
Wow.
So I just.
And so what made Tom Brown different? Like you said, revolutionized suit wearing, what? Like, because he made shorts and different things of that nature?
I just think it was the silhouette. It was a bit more, obviously if you look back at the history of suits, like they've changed so much. The trends have circled around and come back. Like there's so many through the decades, different ways to wear suits. I think he really started popping in the early 2010s, whatever you would call those 10 to 20 years.
The 2000s.
The 2000s would be 2000 to 2010, but he was like 2010 to 2020 is when he really.
Okay, well, y'all know what we mean.
Yeah, but just like the structure of it, and think he was really smart to do it on big NBA players, because that's a lot of those guys typically, and I'm sure they were custom, but they're also available for sale. But typically, like, obviously we just had the NBA draft. A lot of those guys are one-of-one custom pieces that are made just for them and just for their measurements. But Tom Brown used the Cavs as a platform, I guess, to expand into the sports world. So I just love the way that he meshed high-end fashion in sports.
Yeah, so that, like, everybody, if you don't know, like, that was an iconic where they came in the all black. I think even LeBron had shades on. They had on all different types of suits. Some were shorts, literally bottoms, and long socks on some. It was just like they literally looked like they were walking a fashion runway because everybody had on different styles and different cuts. But that's what I mean by it's so interesting how fashion and sports have collided now to where they're pretty much meshed as one. And that's why when it comes to somebody like you, JT, it's like your trajectory is going to be crazy because we are going to cross over onto the red carpet, high-end fashion wear, and then you're going to be like the designer, like get you a designer that can do both courtside wear and high fashion wear. JT, I appreciate you for first of all being my fashion designer and hooking me up with custom one-on-one pieces, but also for pulling up on us here at MoCo.
This is fun, Renee. I appreciate you always. You know that. My most loyal client.
Let's go. Hey, I'm serious. We need to get some measurements going. Serena and I, we need that look, all right?
Look, put it on the books. I'm there. I'll be in Vegas.
Let's go. That's John Thomas, a.k.a. JT, made it. So stay tuned because I'm really going to take him up on this. Me and the missus are going to have matching fits when we hit the red carpet. I'm hoping that it's going to be a custom one-of-one JT design. And keeping on the theme of All-Star, we have Eb Jones back. She's going to be back a lot. She's going to be a contributor with us because for obvious reasons. She's lived 100 lives. She has a lot of knowledge. And plus, I just like chopping it up with Baby G. We're going to talk All-Star with the crew. Okay, so it's WNBA All-Star time. We all start peaking, All-Star weekend. And here's my thoughts. And as you guys know, I'm joined by the Two Lit crew, my crew right here. And then we got Eb Jones, Baby G, joining us for this discussion as well. All-Star has been a huge discussion across all sports. Like the NFL has been trying different things at their Pro Bowl. They're trying to figure it out. The NBA is trying to figure it out. They're doing playground style choosing, like picking your teams. And the WNBA, we're still trying to figure it out as well. So when I think about All-Star, it's so funny because it's like now things have to change because of All-Star. And the reason I say that is because when you think about the past All-Star games, when they were competing, it was just interesting. And you didn't really have to do a lot to make the game interesting because Kobe literally has interviews where he talked about, I'm about to turn up in the fourth quarter. Everybody know in the fourth quarter, I'm going to play. I don't care what happens. I'm going to play. But it's almost gotten to the point now where All-Star games, players don't even want to play in it. It's not serious really anymore. And it's more so like, you get the accolades, but then there's the All-Star weekend that surrounds it and all the other activities. It's almost like All-Star has gotten bigger than the game, but the game has almost been left behind or something. Like the game, even the dunk contest, it's getting difficult. I know they're cool. But the women don't have the dunk contest, I know, but I'm just All-Stars in general. So it's WNBA All-Star happening in Vegas this year. They already announced the starters. But I just wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on just All-Star. Snook, you've already been to WNBA All-Star in Vegas. I thought it was dope. But I want to hear your thoughts on All-Stars, everybody.
They just need to follow the players around after the All-Star games. Like, forget the game.
Play the game.
Yeah, follow people at the party. See people where they're staying in Vegas, where people pulling up. If they in the casinos, where the party, they should just do that. And then, yes. Honestly, if they want to actually bring people to see what's going on, go behind the scenes because, like you said, the game, whatever, because people are playing, but they don't want to get hurt. Nobody's trying to get really hurt. It's supposed to be fun. It's for, it's so many things that's good with the game. I'm not saying don't take the game away. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you want to bring the eyes back to it, let's see what goes on behind the scenes. I think that would probably be more interesting. Owners that show up, like see how many owners show up, what the owners are doing, what parties,
How much are they
follow
betting
the
on them
parties.
games?
Yes,
oh my
they,
gosh.
go to some of these betting, sit in the casinos and go to some people who are betting, or even like the other players that came that are betting, just follow people behind the scenes. Because I think that people would be more interested in seeing how they spend their time at All-Star Weekend after the game than hearing about what happened. We always hear about it in some random place after the game. Oh, so-and-so was here at the All-Star after a game. And we would just probably want to see what's going on, like live. So I think that would be the best thing to do.
I like that. Include the festivities in the broadcast. So I mean, my first thought, because I think the NBA side does a good job with their I think the WNBA needs a celebrity game. Like, I think that brings a lot of, first of all, star power to your event. So basically, like the NBA, if people don't know, they have a celebrity game that's presented by a big sponsor. Sometimes it's Sprite, sometimes it's the new company. I forget the name of that company, but Starry.
Oh my gosh, Chance is obsessed.
Yes. And you have a big sponsor come in. You have a celebrity game this year. Janelle Monáe came through and shut it down. What was his name? Ben Affleck came through because they were promoting Air. There was just a lot of star power that came through because they're promoting something, which people are always promoting something. So I think that's a good point, Cole. And I would say my suggestion to elevate, like bring the WNBA game a celebrity game where now beforehand, we know all these celebrities are going to be there so they can be at the game now and just give more interaction, more life. But any other thoughts? It doesn't have to be how to
I actually like the All-Star game. I'm one of these lame people that likes the All-Star game. Okay. No, you know what? I like to go to the actual, even if I don't get to go to the actual All-Star game, I like to go to like the event cities. I feel like all the parties around there and all the little events, I think that's fun. I think, all the festivities, I do like, I like that aspect of it. But as far as the game, I mean, I feel like the game is, I do wish that we had more eyes on it, because I do think that is a fun event. For whatever reason, that Renee mentioned, a lot of people aren't as, keen to watching it, but it is, like, I feel like for tradition's sake, I'm a traditional kind of person. I do like for it to keep on going and for eyes to come back. I don't know how we can do that.
She would keep it as is. My mother said she liked the
I like it.
Well, I like the competition as well. I think, and I don't want to, be down on the WNBA, but, just women's sports altogether, we need more advertising, we need more marketing. I think, we need to pump it up a little bit to get more eyes on the sport. And, there's a lot, I'm always for whatever side Renee's team is on. But anyway.
Yeah, we got to see which team the Atlanta Dream players.
I've been East and I've been West, but, I like the game. And as Nikki said, if we had a little bit more hoopla around some of the activities and some of the things that, goes on or whatever, DraftKings, we could be there and kind of, give it a little spark or whatever.
Okay, DraftKings should call you out.
Yeah, I know, right? Come on, DraftKings. What you think, Baby G? Like, what's your thoughts surrounding All-Star?
Yeah, so from my perspective, it's about the culture of the game, and that's what makes the W so different from NBA All-Stars, because it's not called NBA All-Star, it's called NBA All-Star Weekend. It's a whole experience that whole weekend. And we don't get that from on the W side. And then and I worked that first one in Vegas, and it was so great. Like everybody left thinking oh, this was the best All-Star ever, because we did that. We had that pool party where Snoop was DJing. We had the day events, we had the field day, the convention center where all the the events and stuff were happening. So that's why when I heard, because I didn't go last year in Chicago, and I heard it was no events open to the public because of gun violence or whatever. I was what? That's the whole point of the weekend, is to make it an experience for the fans. You mean to tell me these fans flew here from wherever they came from and they can't even go to half of the events? That was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of in my life. It was
that's the fun part, right?
I was what? That's not an All-Star weekend. What the hell? So hopefully that changes this year. I don't know. I'm not involved anymore. But that first year, and it's also about the caliber of talent that is out there and they're paying for. I can't even go through the levels and the extent that I had to go through to get Tiana Taylor approved to perform at the halftime show that year. And all the players were like front and center, like everything. A moment like that has not happened since. And like last year, they didn't even have a halftime performance. I was like, well, where is the marketing money going to if y'all don't have this big name? Like that's the draw, those big name people that make it an experience and not just about the game. So hopefully they fix that this year and have somebody good performing at the halftime show, because everybody was like literally like, we had no halftime show. Like everybody was like, where was the act? Like they went to commercial, it was like a package from ESPN, and then we came back to the game. Everybody was like, wait, like, so those things that the league office is not prioritizing that gets the press is going to be the issue. Like you have to do the things that are going to get people talking about it, that are going to get people to say, oh, I wish I had went this year, that have that FOMO factor. If you're not doing cool stuff and stuff that's about the culture that people care about, you're not going to get that FOMO factor from people. And that's what NBA All-Star has always been. It's been that FOMO. Like I remember they used to like make fun of the girls that will like take because I don't even know if Greyhound even exists anymore, but they would like make fun of like the broke girls, the hood girls that would take the girls out to whatever NBA All-Star City to be involved in whatever that was going on back in the day, because it was like, it was the place to be, even if y'all
5 people in one room.
That's it. That's it.
People in one hotel room with one queen size bed, but y'all figured it out because it was about the experience and being there and feeling the energy of the city. Until they get that up and get the energy around the game and the excitement around like the activities and making sure fans feel like they missing out if they're not there, then it's just gonna still continue to fall flat.
Say it louder. I know. Exactly. Listen, we can't say that per se. I'm so glad that you're saying thank you so much, Eb. Thank you so much. And by the way, Eb, isn't that you Renee got on?
Yeah, we talked about it already. The Orange City.
I was about to say that.
All the flowers.
All that. Look at that. Yeah. So, I totally agree, and it's almost like people can't say it; they're not allowed to say it because I don't know why they are not allowed to say it. What is it hurting? There's nobody going. So I don't know whose feelings are hurting by saying you need to do better, but they really just need to do better. And like you said, I heard it was the best one, and then last year was like, okay.
Last year the arena sold out, so this should tell you that the fans want to be there. The fans want to be engaged, and so
that's the best part. Like everything when Ed was talking, Renee was giving me life because I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I love about it. But it's like, to Cole's point, unless you're there, and I guess now like people are after the pandemic, people are finding their footing back with content and things like that. But people need to see that. People need to see like Eb said that the masses need to see all of this stuff that's happening in this city, because a lot of times it is very fun when you're in the city, but then it's only maybe that small group of people that could probably experience it. And to your point as well, it needs to be a whole full weekend event, like NBA All-Star, because that is the fun part that's going to get the more tourists to those cities and those games.
Definitely. And then, so I think in an attempt to extend the weekend, the skills challenge is now on a different day, I believe so, than the WNBA All-Star game. So if that's the right start, maybe, because that's what the celebrity game does. The celebrity game is usually the day before the All-Star game, so people come in earlier or something of that nature. But I can see the start happening if that is what is happening. But I just think that, the more star power you can bring, like to Baby G. We were talking about Snoop Dogg was DJing. Is that what you were talking about?
Snoop Dogg DJed the pool party that year.
Wow.
We had a pool party after the game. And
I got FOMO now. I want to be there.
Okay.
It was so many great events. We had really, really great sponsors that year that like really put their best foot forward and made stuff happen. Like even the Fan Fest was amazing. The different vendors that we had in that room where people were like we were giving out orange hoodies there. We were giving out a whole bunch of merch. That's another thing too, like the presence of merch. Like I remember I saw some video last year where they had like at All-Star, or no, maybe it was NBA All-Star. They had a WNBA section at NBA All-Star that you could get like a custom hoodie or something. Like just make more opportunities for people to want to represent the brand and be involved in the brand, because like even that year at All-Star was when I unveiled the fanny packs, the WNBA fanny packs. Everybody wanted one of them things. Like they were like, wait, where we can find that? Why everybody walk around with a WNBA fanny pack? So that's the moment to like drop those things too.
That's smart. That's smart, because you had the earrings. You had
we got them. Yeah, Renee
I was
still
mad
wears
about those
earrings. Look, is mad she didn't get one.
I may still have one. I can get you.
Yeah, because I still rock my joints. Like the earrings were dope, but that's the thing. It's like at all times, this is honestly what I tell our Atlanta Dream group all the time. I just got off of a call with one of the Dans. We have 100 Dans on our team, but I got off a call with one of the Dans, and I was literally, everybody knows I always say, if it ain't sexy, if it ain't lit, it ain't us, because that's kind of what I want people to associate.
I'm still waiting on my t-shirt too.
Okay, listen, you know what? Oh, I did get you one. I got you one. Real talk. I did. I literally did.
No, but y'all killing it with the merch. I just want to give you a shout out to that, like from y'all partnership with Player Society. There we go.
Okay, Paul.
So like y'all were one of the first people to do a collab with them. Like all y'all merch been fire.
Thank you.
Like so fire. Like every year when y'all do a drop, like that drop last year, I was like, wait a second, I need everything in this line. And I'm trying to be impartial because I got friends on every other team. So I don't usually...
no, we don't do that.
I just, wear team gear. I just wear W logo gear or like player stuff. But I was like, wait a second, I may need this whole Atlanta line right here.
Okay, so are you?
That's a huge compliment coming from you.
Yes.
First of all, y'all been doing some fire merch, and even how y'all market it, like with all the players in it, and y'all doing the whole lot. Like y'all been doing some really cool stuff. So kudos to y'all, Renee.
Yeah, I'm hyped because this is
good mold for players turning owners. You definitely are setting a good groundwork for hopefully more management groups and coming in and getting some great consulting from actually people who did it. So yeah.
Oh, let's go. Listen, first of all, thank you, Baby G. Y'all got to know that this woman is a tough critic, all right? So I want y'all to...
Yeah, she's going to tell you. She's going to tell you.
She's going to keep it real, right? So compliments from people like Baby G be the most, because I know that she don't care. She just going to keep it 100. But thank you. Yes, we're trying to do some things and do some merch things, but that's why I want so badly for the WNBA to elevate too, because everybody rises when the WNBA goes up. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, right here, in case anybody didn't know, Eb Jones is an Atlanta Dream fan. I don't know what's wrong with, I don't know what's going on with you, but it's your allegiance right now, Baby G.
I can't do that. You know, like, I like, especially like the super team we created here in New York. I'm like, I'm New York, so it's we.
It's a New York thing. It's a New York thing.
In New York. So I mean, like
I won't hold that against you, Eb.
I mean, I'm just like I'm so proud to like be happy to cheer for the home team right now, because we had some years of New York Liberty struggling. Like,
okay,
I mean,
I like that
up
though.
in Westchester in that little school gym to
that
like
was tough. I played there.
So I'm just happy that we like are in a good little groove right now with New York Liberty basketball. So,
but you would like to state that you are also a fan of what team? I just want to get it on tape. What team are you a fan of?
And when I'm in Atlanta, I root for whatever WNBA team I'm in their city at, because I don't want to disrespect nobody in there. So that's what I'll do. So I'm down there.
You know, asking for merch.
Hey, that's an honor, though. I think that's an honor.
Whoa, and say Renee on it. Like,
oh, she said my merch. Okay.
What was your?
She's gonna make you an Atlanta Dream fan anyway. So, but
okay, we'll still work on baby.
You want to know y'all what Atlanta Dream win the award for?
What?
The most lit stadium. I have a good time every time I'm there.
There you go. We'll take it. We'll take it.
From the music to the environment to the lines for the alcohol not being too long, because in New York they be so long. Like I just be like, I can't wait this long for a drink. So the experience that y'all have set up is great. So y'all the livest crew as far as game presentation. I'll give y'all that.
Okay, I feel like we deserve like an actual trophy or something. Like that was beautiful.
Let me just, because I would like to do an acceptance speech.
Well, do they still do that, Mary Lou? Do they still do the end of year awards? Remember that year that y'all came to Dallas with us to market the end of year team marketing awards?
I don't know if they do.
See, that's something too. Like, why do we not do that?
Excuse me, I have a speech. I'm accepting my award. All right, so listen.
For most latest in-game experience, crowd participation, goes to Atlanta Dream.
Okay.
Renee is she's a mess.
We need to screen grab this.
What do you want?
Did you write a speech? Did you write a speech for the occasion?
Yes. Okay. Before the music comes on. All right. So I want to. Okay. First of all, shouts to the Atlanta Dream. Shouts to Suzanne, Larry, and myself, because we knew we could be here one day. When we took over this team, we were so excited about the city of Atlanta, about what could happen here. And you guys, we couldn't do this without y'all. How can we be too lit without the crew? Y'all are our crew, okay? It's sunk in there. Every time we ask y'all to swag, y'all surf, baby. Every time we do the wave, y'all are up. Y'all are saying defense. We're in it. So this is for the city of Atlanta. This is not even the Atlanta Dream. This is for Atlanta. Thank you. I love you. Hi, Snooker Diddy. And on that note,
she was really there right now. You know, like she was there.
She was on stage at the
she was like at the Golden Globes or something. I don't know.
It's just like we never.
Thank God though, so it don't count. She thank God.
And first and foremost, I would like to give thanks to God, my Lord and Savior. Without him, this would never be possible.
You know, I am so done.
And I hope that generationally everybody gives thanks, because that's what we do here at MoCo, where we'll see y'all next week.